Hey guys, it is Julie here with JT Wealth. In today's video, we are going to discuss what you should be doing with some of those checks your kids received over the holidays. So let's get into it. All right, guys, welcome back and thank you so much for being here. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas and happy holidays. It is that time of the year where a lot of kids are getting Christmas cards from distant relatives, often containing a check or some cash for a present. So in today's video, we're going to discuss a few options of what to do with these checks that will have your kids thanking you in the future. Spoiler alert, it's not to go and buy them more presents with it. Of course, there are several options of what to do with this money. First off is just a piggy bank. Second, a basic savings account. Third, we get into investment accounts. And fourth is the 529 savings plan, which we're going to get more in depth on today. And just before we get into that, this is just your friendly reminder that if you enjoy today's video, make sure you give us a thumbs up and leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Also, until December 31st, Webull is giving away 4 free stocks for signing up and funding a new investment account. So make sure to check out the link in our description down below. All right, now let's talk savings plans, starting off with the 2 least attractive of those 4 options. Now, a lot of parents will set up their kids with a piggy bank, and it's a great idea to involve your kids in the concept of savings. But having it sit in that piggy bank long term, it will just be losing money. In fact, even taking your kid to the bank and opening them a basic savings account is still going to lose money over time. And that is all thanks to our friend called inflation, which is generally prices increasing over time, making your money lose its purchasing power. Looking at this chart, this assumes you had $5,000 in a savings account at a 1.1% interest rate, which is actually pretty generous on a basic savings account right now. So over the years, you would expect that $5,000 saving balance to increase over time. However, if we assume a 2% inflation rate, your money is actually losing its purchasing power, and in 5 years would only be really worth $4,800. So this is why a piggy bank or basic savings account is not going to be beneficial over the long term. So in order to have your money grow over the long term, you need to find a way to beat inflation. And to achieve this, we then look to investing in the market. And in today's video, we're going to compare 2 options between a custodial brokerage account and a 529 savings plan. A custodial brokerage account is quite simply a savings or investment account set up by an adult for a minor. So you can open up one of these accounts on behalf of your child, and then those assets pass to the child once they turn 18 or 21, depending on the state. A big benefit of these custodial brokerage accounts are their flexibility. There aren't any contribution limits or rules, and your kid can withdraw the funds for any purpose once they're of age without any questions asked. The disadvantage is that they are not tax sheltered, which brings us to the 529 savings plan. A 529 plan is a tax-advantaged savings plan designed to encourage savings for future education costs. Similar to a Roth IRA, contributions to a 529 plan grow tax-free, meaning any increase in value from the investments is not subject to capital gains or income tax as long as the account is used for qualified education expenses. These expenses include tuition to a traditional 4-year university, community college, or trade school, and it also covers the hefty costs of a laptop, textbooks, and room and board. Many people fear the restrictions of a 529 plan, but it's no longer just for those traditional 4-year degrees. Like I said, it can be used for associate's degrees, trade or vocational schools, even online college. So even if your kid might not take the traditional path, there is a good chance that there is a program that is eligible. Now, I am going to come back to some of the finer print of these 529 savings plans, but I do just want to jump back to our example there of your holiday checks and cash that your kids are receiving and how they can grow over their lifetime in a tax-sheltered plan like this versus a taxable brokerage account. All right, so let's say between grandparents, aunts and uncles, whoever else is in your kid's life, they're able to collect $200 for Christmas. Now, let's say that they also get some money for their birthday. So for this example, we're going to be looking at $400 per year going into a 529 savings plan. If you were to start right at age 1 and save for 18 years, at that end of the 18 years, you would have about $17,777 in your 529 college savings plan versus about $14,625 in just a taxable savings account. This calculator assumes an 8% annual return, which is very reasonable in a long-term, well-diversified portfolio. What's really great is the compound growth that occurs from being invested this long, but also the effect that that tax sheltering has. The difference between the taxable account and the 529 college savings plan is over $3,000. And that compound growth really adds up. When you think if you were to put that $400 per year into a pretty large piggy bank, you'd be looking about $7,200. So that is your principal contributions here. That means over 18 years, with your total balance being nearly $18,000, you're seeing over $10,000 in growth. Now, of course, I understand that just shy of $18,000 is probably not going to be enough to fund your child's entire post-secondary education. When you consider the average tuition and fees at ranked colleges for the school year of 2020 into 21, the average public in-state tuition was $9,687, all the way up to $35,000 for a private college. But still, having that $18,000 nest egg certainly opens up some doors and different opportunities, and overall will just help reduce the potential debt they may be entering in their young adulthood. And I promise they will be very grateful for that. Now, getting into more of the fine print, I know a lot of people's hesitations with these 529 plans are the penalties if their kid does not pursue post-secondary. Nobody likes the word penalty. And it is true that non-qualified 529 plan withdrawals are taxed as income at your marginal rate, in addition to a 10% withdrawal penalty. But remember, these taxes are only on the gains in your 529 account. The deposits you made to your account over the years were made with after-tax money, which means that principal can't be taxed again. So the prospect of paying a penalty if your kid does not go to college should not stop you from using a 529 plan to save. Consider that saving the money in a taxable account would have been subject to ordinary income taxes anyway. 529 plans are still superior savings options. The earnings in a 529 plan account accumulate on a tax-deferred basis, and the taxes are assessed at the beneficiary's rate, which is usually lower than the parent's rate. Often, the beneficiary's rate is at least 10 percentage points lower than the parent's, so the parent is no worse off than they would have been had they saved in a taxable account. Another thing to keep in mind with 529 savings plans are fees. So whenever possible, try to open up a direct 529 savings plan. This is one that you will open up yourself online typically without the help of a third party. A direct plan is going to save you a lot in fees compared to an advisor sold plan, which is going to have front-end load fees plus take a percentage of your assets. With a direct plan, you are in charge of the asset allocation, but most companies you set this up through will have certain target age funds that you can put your money into. These portfolios are based on your child's age and how much time they have before they'd be expected to attend post-secondary. So at their younger years, when they have a longer investment time period, it's going to be a more aggressive mix of stocks. And then that will automatically adjust over time as they get closer to that post-secondary age to a more conservative investment mix. Now, 529s vary greatly state to state, but every state offers a direct 529 plan, so just make sure to seek that out. Now, as 529 plans vary from state to state, it is important to understand the different tax benefits to you, and some even offer different grants. And what's interesting is that you don't have to open up a 529 plan in the same state that you live in. So if you want to compare different plans within your state or between states, different questions to look at are what the tax perks are, what the different fees are and investment options, and if they offer matching grants or other benefits. So there is a lot of information on 529s and even more out there than we discussed today. So the best advice I can give you is go and sit down with your financial advisor who knows your family's financial situation and come up with the best plan for you. It doesn't just have to be a 529 savings plan. This can be complemented with your Roth IRA or just that non-tax sheltered investment account as well. The perfect solution is going to differ from family to family, but the key takeaway is start putting aside those holiday checks early and let them grow for your kids to set them up for a great financial future. A little bit goes a long way, especially when you have time on your hands. So starting off as young as you can is going to work in your favor over time. Of course, I always love hearing from you guys, so make sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Is a 529 plan something your family utilizes, or how are you saving for their future? If you made it all the way to the end of today's video, make sure to give us a big thumbs up and that you're subscribed as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and cheers.